Well, well. Late again. Couple days late. I'm sorry about that. At least it's not because I got drafted. We're gonna go over the new rules for the draft, soldier eligibility in America, things that might be of use currently, considering we may or may not be going to full-on war with Iran. This is something we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. This is something that I've raged about the last couple of weeks. The president has gone on TV and said a couple of times now that we've won the war. Yet here we are talking about a potential draft. This is the Short News Podcast. My name is Alex Mador, and fuck the way things are going right now. Cue the music.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
What year has
And we're back. Suck my dick. What if I just ended it there? And we're back. Suck my dick. This has been the Short News Podcast. Welcome to the show. Like I said, I'm Alex. I'm here to talk to you about things that are happening in our world, whether you like it or not, because I don't like what's going on. Personally, it's a big not for me. And, it's going to be a big not for you now. It feels like I haven't done this in fucking months. It feels like when I try to respond to a voice message on iMessage and it's like a long thought out thing, and I'm sitting there like, fuck, what do I say? Like, I know how to talk. I know how to have a conversation. Why is it now when the microphone is in front of my face, I feel so on the spot? It's nobody's fault. It's not the podcast's fault for existing. It's not the news's fault for existing. It's a me thing. It's not you. It's me. We're going to war, folks. It's not looking good out there. Gas prices jumped up, at least in New York State, like a whole nother $1. But depending on where you go, it's like $4.50. It's going to get up to $5 at some point, if it hasn't already at some of your local places. If you've seen $5 gas, let me know. I want to know if it's coming my way. That's a really alarming thing, considering a week and a half ago, gas was maybe $3.50 a gallon at most, which is still high. Don't get me wrong. I'm used to paying like $2.90, $2.96 at the pump because I know where to go. You go to those places where normally you're like, I know where to go for the cheap gas. Now it's like $4. It's like $4 something. That's very alarming. It makes me wonder what the prices are like for the rest of the world, and unfortunately, I am not sitting in front of my computer or the internet at the moment. I'm going off of memory on what I've absorbed from current events and from interviewing and talking to people out in the world about how they're experiencing life right now. And it's not great. It's really not great. Because of this war, you have oil going up to, what, $500 a barrel is what they're saying, which is fucked. Oil is not supposed to be that much, but because we are crippling our own ability to acquire these resources by bombing other countries, specifically the Middle East, specifically Iran, specifically at the request of our butt buddies Israel, you're going to see the price of the pump continue to go up. It's not going down anytime soon. And you have President Trump out there saying that $500 a barrel actually isn't that bad, all things considered. I don't think President Trump has had to fill up a gas tank in a very long time. And I have a feeling that even if President Trump did have to fill up a gas tank, you wouldn't consider $5 a gallon to be expensive, considering the tax bracket that he's in, if he were to ever pay his fucking taxes. We're talking about a guy who is not in touch with how much things are supposed to cost, or even knows what the term, the cost of living, even means or even entails for people, or how scary it is for people when that goes up. We're talking about a guy who doesn't even know what the working class is. And if he even knows what the working class is, he doesn't want to associate with them and doesn't even want them to be a part of his country, even though they built this fucking country. It's getting really bad out there to the point where I haven't really even seen people complaining about ICE anymore. Now, the issue I'm having with that is ICE is a lot more prevalent now than they were even a few weeks ago. Here in New York State, they've been deployed in the airports, every airport. They're just standing the fuck around. Every fucking where I turn on the internet or every fucking time I go outside, I see another way that our tax dollars are being wasted in a way that doesn't do something good for the actual American people. All it does is either bombs other countries on the behalf of another country. That isn't even a real country, by the way. Sorry, Israel, go fuck yourself. Or we're just wasting tax money pushing people out of the country and telling them they aren't American. We should be using that money in a little bit more of welcoming ways than we currently are, and all we want to do is push everybody away. Every country, every ally, every fucking outsider or immigrant, we just want to make an enemy out of them. We killed the Ayatollah, and then we bombed the next one. And now the new guy is missing a leg because of us, and we're like, yeah, just put him into power. It's fine. You guys have a guy. Don't worry. So what if we blew up half of him? Stop being a fucking pussy. Just Ayatollah that shit, dog. I'm sorry if what I'm saying here, my arguments, or if they're even arguments, or my points, don't seem to be traveling anywhere. I am legitimately upset about what's going on in the world, but I did not come to this with a strategy or an approach. I came to this as somebody like you or like anybody else out in the country reading the news or watching the war take place. I'm coming at this with disgust. We live in a country where priorities are ass backwards. The last thing that our government considers taking action on is the well-being of the American people, which is ironic, comedically ironic, considering that President Trump ran off of being the peace president, which was really funny, him promising he'll be the peace president and there won't be any wars. But also he's the America First guy. America First was his fucking platform. We're going to prioritize the American people over anybody else. That was a fucking lie, wasn't it? Because if you look on the news, if you look at what's going on here, it's not America first. It's not Americans first. It's Israel first. It's Bibi Netanyahu first. It's, if you don't agree with this, the fucking mass killings and the genocide and the apartheid and just the murdering of innocent children, then you're anti-Semitic. If you don't agree with our Holocaust that we're doing, then you are essentially denying the Holocaust that happened to us 100 fucking years ago. Get the fuck over it. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that even somebody like Elie Wiesel, may his soul rest in peace, would even say, hey man, this is a little bit reminiscent of what we went through when I was a kid and I was in the camps. This is a little bit fucked up. Why would we be doing this unto another group of people as though it never happened to us? Where the fuck is the empathy there? It's not even empathy at that point. It's just common sense. If you didn't like when this happened to you, why would you do it onto another group of innocent people? But Alex, they're not innocent. They're barbaric. It's in their culture. You know who that sounds a lot like? And I'm not addressing this fucking right-wing Zionists who are going to say stuff like that. I'm addressing the neo-lib shitfucks that want to come on here and pretend that they agree with leftist values, with what the left wing has to offer, with everybody deserves the right to life, everybody deserves the right to health care, everybody deserves to be able to afford to eat, everybody deserves to not be fucking bombed while they go to school by American fucking drones or by Israeli missiles. You start saying that, and neolib fucks are going to come out and start calling you an anti-Semite. They're going to start going off about how Palestinians or Iranians are barbaric. Why do you only say that about the brown people? Why do you only say that about Middle Easterners? Where is this coming from? Why do you think that they're animals? I've heard plenty of Israelis. I've debated plenty of you Zionist fucks. And the words that you like to use about Palestinian children. Innocent fucking people, families, women, children, even the fucking men, the ones that aren't involved in Hamas. You call them barbarians. You say it's in their culture. You say, well, they just have to die. It's either us or them. That's not the fucking case. Buddy, if Hamas is a real thing, if Hamas is a legitimate entity that you're worried about, take out the legitimate entity. Don't just point at the entire Palestinian population and call them Hamas or Hamas sympathizers, because that is not the case. And if you talk to any of them, and if you keep a fucking right mind in your fucking cranium, you will see that they actually don't find Hamas to be that savory of a group. They actually don't want Hamas in their fucking country. They find them to be dangerous, and they find them to be putting a target unnecessarily onto innocent Palestinians' backs. The problem is, Israel takes that and they run with it to say, well, it's all of them. There could be a Hamas base in this fucking elementary school. We got to take it out. It's anti-Semitic if you tell us not to. What, do you want another Holocaust to happen to us? You support Hitler? You support the Nazis? You support Kanye? You're a piece of shit. I'm going to make sure that your entire life is fucking canceled. Do you see how ridiculous that is? They are killing in the thousands. They are leveling, terraforming. They have been terraforming, leveling, murdering, blowing up fucking innocent people so that they can occupy a land that they feel justified to because some stupid fucking fiction fairy tale fucking book told them that they're entitled to it and have been for 3,000 years. Dude, that's like if I read fucking Harry Potter and I was like, well, I'm Gryffindor. Clearly I'm Gryffindor because the book says that people like this are entitled to be in Gryffindor. So I'm going to fucking go around and you all have to abide by my fucking Hogwarts-ass rules from this fictional fairy tale-ass book that you guys may not fucking believe in, but whatever, it lets me fucking murder you if I so please. I don't know, that's a bit of a fucked up analogy that went a bit astray there. But all these fake-ass fucking fictional books that people cause wars and murder over, when truly they're just using it to justify their racism, their bigotry, their hatred for a group of people just because they find them to be different. Palestinians are not a threat. They are being threatened. And it has been this way for decades. Israel as a country has really only been around for not that long. Really not that long. Promised 3,000 years ago, my fucking ass. You've been a country for less time than my grandparents have been alive on this earth. That's saying something. That's pathetic. You are not a country, and you do not have the entitlement to go around leveling cities and murdering children. I'm sorry, but just because you're Jewish, that doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want and go around screaming and crying anti-Semitism when somebody tells you, hey, murdering people? Murdering innocents? Bombing schools? Not a good look. Let me put this into perspective for you. What's worse, bombing and leveling a city full of innocent people? Or saying that Israelis shouldn't continue to bomb and level innocent people? What's more hateful? Saying that Israel should be allowed to bomb and level innocent people because they went through a Holocaust fucking 100 years ago? Or saying that they shouldn't do that because the Palestinian people are mostly innocent outside of the one group that they're worried about, Hamas? What is more hateful? Saying stop the bombing or saying keep going with the bombing? Personally, I think anything that promotes peace and not going to fucking war and encourages a ceasefire would be the least hateful option. Benjamin Netanyahu and his fuckheads over there don't seem to think like me. Fuckheads over here don't even seem to think like me. I don't know why so many non-Jewish Republicans are so hell-bent on continuing this war and sending all of our American tax dollars over to Israel to continue their genocide. It just kind of seems like all of these America First Republicans like Ted Cruz, or Jesus First Republicans, again, like Ted Cruz, would rather that money be on American soil than helping a war that's really not going to help us. Really makes you think about how powerful Israel actually is militaristically. And it makes you wonder what Bibi has threatened our government if we do not continue to supply them with weapons and money and everything while starving our own people over here. Has nobody noticed the reallocation of resources? I mean, now you probably are, like I said, because we're in this war now, where we're now bombing Iran for them. You're gonna start noticing that they're reallocating resources like gas, like the gas problem. $5 a gallon in fucking New York State. Fuck you. Prices of goods and services. A 6-pack of Coca-Cola went from like $6.99 to $10. What the fuck is that about? It all connects, because if the trucks have to spend more money, or if the transport has to spend more money on diesel gas to get that Coca-Cola or whatever the fuck over to the grocery stores or to the markets or whatever, it's going to cost more money for the stores to get that inventory stocked, because it's costing more for the transportation to happen because of the gas prices, which means that the price of the actual goods or services will go up and continue to go up as the war carries on. It's not like gas is just going to stop at $5. It's going to keep going up. I think people are under this impression that at some point the prices are going to go back down. Sorry, but that's not the case. Remember when gas prices went up during the Biden administration? Because we were getting involved with Ukraine and Russia, and we were helping out Ukraine. That was nowhere near what we are currently facing. That is nowhere near the disparity and the expensiveness that awaits us come the next couple of weeks if the president does proceed to go all in on World War fucking III. That brings us to our next topic at hand, the draft. They're really starting to float the idea. They're really starting to A/B test that idea out there with people. They have raised the enlistment age to 42. Dude, it used to be like you can't get drafted after you're, like 30 or something, or 35? I don't know. There was a cap at some point. And they used to be very strict about who could enlist even. You had to be a certain age. You couldn't be in your 40s. You couldn't smoke weed. They have gotten rid of that. So if you have cannabis charges, like me when I was 18 and I got arrested for 1.5 grams of weed, doesn't matter anymore. If they so decide to, select me for the draft, I would have to go. They wouldn't give a fuck about the cannabis charge. They'd probably let me smoke weed while being deployed. That's how desperate they are for people and for bodies, if we so get to that point. Now, the one thing that is working in my favor, and I can say this, and I will say this because I don't want to be fucking drafted. I have a cat to take care of. As somebody who has been in a psychiatric hospitalization, has been hospitalized for psychiatric reasons, not once but twice. You only need the one, by the way. But as someone who's been loony binned twice in my life, they're not going to want me. That exempts me. That disqualifies me from having to go. Which really sucks for you guys. I'm talking to the Army, because I feel like if you broke me in well enough, even with my craziness, especially with my craziness, dude, I would be the coldest killer. I would be the coldest killer. I would be doing the most horrific war crimes known to man, and it would be efficient too. You do want me there, but I don't want to go. So yeah, they've raised the age, so you could be in your 40s now and they could still get you. You could be a pothead, and it doesn't fucking matter. You're still going to have to go. The only thing that's keeping you from being drafted, aside from it being selective service, meaning it's like a weird random selection out of a hat, is if you've been psychiatrically hospitalized, you're safe. You are safe. Now, that could always change down the road if they run out of people. That really sucks if they send everyone off and it's just the crazies left over to repopulate the earth or to repopulate America. Oh, man, good thing I plan on getting a vasectomy so I can't reproduce. This bloodline ends with me. It's really scary, though, to hear government officials and to hear the news, even just floating the idea of a draft as they change the goalposts for that. As we watch them deploying or announcing deployment of more soldiers. As Trump, though, is trying to come out and say, no, we won the war. The war's over. We won. Clearly we haven't if they're talking about a draft. Clearly we haven't if they're still sending soldiers and they're still bombing targets. It doesn't really seem to me like we've won anything. It seems to me like a lot of losing. It's like Vietnam all over again, but at a larger scale because other countries are going to start getting involved and they're going to start getting involved against us. And I don't fucking blame them. When Germany comes out and says that they're treating the United States as a threat and as a danger right now based on what we're currently doing, when Germany says that after the last World War involved them going full on fucking Holocaust, you gotta start to question, hey, what are we doing here? Is this okay? And the answer is no, it's fucking not, guys. This isn't safe for anyone. Donald Trump said he was going to be the peace president. There would be no wars under him. Yet here we are on the brink of what could be the end of the fucking world. I hate to put it that way, but when you have this many countries starting to talk about nuclear weapons, starting to talk about invading, starting to talk about being on the brink of World War III in a way that we have never talked about in our lifetimes, you got to start to think, hey, this is a little different than Iraq. This is a little bit different than the Gulf back in the 90s. And this is way, way different from Vietnam. I'm going to leave you on that because I'm lightheaded and I need to eat something. And this war is freaking me the fuck out. So until next time, my name is Alex Mador. This is the Short News Podcast. I will be back next week. I will see you next week. And maybe I'll see you before then. I don't know. If you're feeling scared and this scared you, let me know. I don't want you to be freaked out. It's not a good way to be, especially when it's already so easy to be freaked out. Let me know. Hit me up. I've got an inbox. So I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. And we will prevail. We always do, right? Take care. Bye-bye.